We will not be completing topic C of chapter 2, so you can skip that and the activity that goes along with it. This is topic D on page 74, outlining and subtotaling data. As you have worked with Excel, you have learned how to hide rows and columns of data to present a summary view of the data for reporting purposes. In addition, as you enter data, you may want to periodically summarize the data by region or quarter, for example, rather than creating a grand total for all regions or quarters. In this topic, you will learn how to outline and subtotal your data, which may be especially useful when you are working on a spreadsheet with a large amount of data. So here I have an example workbook open, and this lists some students, their first and last name, and it has the grade they're currently in and the amount that they have individually raised for a fundraiser. Now, if I wanted to quickly see how much each grade has raised so far, I could use a feature that we have, which is subtotaling. And subtotaling works best when you have column headers in your information, which we do here, and it also works best when the information is sorted. So since I want to see how much each grade has raised, I would probably want to sort that by grade. So with my cursor somewhere in my grade column, I can go up to my data tab on my ribbon, and my sort and filter command group, I'm going to sort this from smallest to largest, and you can see now each grade comes up together. Now, it's not easy to quickly calculate how much the subtotal is for each grade here, but we do have a feature in Excel that will do that very, very quickly for us. On the data tab, over in my outline command group, here I have a subtotal command. Sorry, got a little error message here. Let's try this again. There we go. So you want to have your cursor somewhere in the actual text range. That was my mistake there. I think I had an empty cell selected outside. You want to be somewhere in your data set, so it will highlight the whole entire thing. And this will open up your subtotal dialog box. So the top part, it says at each change in, and then it will list all of your column headers. So we're looking at each change in grade because that's what we want to calculate. We want to subtotal all of grade 8's amounts raised, all 9's, 10's, 11's, and so on. So then you would choose which function you want to perform. So since we're taking the subtotal of each amount raised, we want to use the sum function. Have a bunch of different functions that you can choose from in that drop-down. We're adding them together, so we want to use the sum. But what do we want to sum up? You want to add the subtotal to, and again, this will have all of your column headers listed here. We want to sum up the amount raised. So Excel actually guessed that for us. Usually they'll have their guess correct, but you always want to double check just to make sure. So what this is saying, it's going to look down the grade column. Starts with 8. So at each change in, when it gets to 9, it's going to stop. So it's going to look at all of these grade 8s, then look at those amount raised for the grade 8s, and it's going to add them together. And it's going to do the same for each grade. So here, I'm going to click OK. And it actually adds additional rows for us. So you can see it grouped all of grade 8's together. It added a row here for grade 8 total, and it subtotaled all of that information out for me. Same for grade 9, 10, and 11, and it also gave us the grand total for all of the funds that were raised for that amount column. Now, also take note, in my left-hand margin of my spreadsheet here, I got these 3 numbers at the top. And when you subtotal information out, it actually puts you in outline mode. If I click on the number 1 here, I can actually collapse all of that information down to only show the grand total here. If I click on the number 2, it's taking it to the next level where it's only telling me the subtotals from each grade level and then the grand total as well. And then if I click the number 3 button, it's going to bring everything into view. So it's going to show all details for me. So you can actually collapse that to different levels, whatever amounts you want to see from here. So number 1, I'm going to collapse it completely for grand total. Level 2 is going to show each of your subtotals and your grand total. And number 3 is going to show grand total, subtotals, and each individual amount as well. So this is your outline form. Your next video will be activity 2.4 on page 79.